Good morning. Welcome back. I know that I have promised a flat tour. There isn't a lot to show at the moment. Well, I will get round to it, but we've had a lot going on. Haven't got hardly any furniture at the moment. Well, there's a tiny stool behind me, no sofa or anything. Anyway, this video isn't about that. This is a reselling, pretty much an eBay video, to be honest. So I have been back on eBay for 4 weeks, I believe, and this is what I have learnt. One thing in particular completely blew my mind, and I think most people just go, not true, not true, not true, but I will tell you about it anyway. God, it's fluffing my tea. Anyway, yes, so 4 weeks back on, the reason I'm back on is because after Poshmark closed in the UK, I was invited to be onboarded onto the eBay Startup Scale Up program. There's a few of us, there's only a few that I know of, that went onto it, and I don't know how they got our details or anything, but anyway. So I shut my shop down like a year ago or something, and obviously I've been selling on a platform that we don't talk about, and that's been my main source of income, and I've been neglecting that because of eBay, and I need to revamp that. I need to be adding stuff to it. Obviously it's been difficult. I haven't been outsourcing because of house flat move and trying to get stuff organised here. It's been really like had to wait in, so many days for a plumber to turn up, and all the rest of it, just waiting in all the time. So I haven't been able to get outsourcing, which has been good for eBay because I have lots of jewellery stock anyway. So in a way, there's nothing for me to lose by spending 6 months trialing eBay again. And part of this program is that you get 6 months free shop subscription, and I'm getting a weekly Zoom call with an eBay representative who is taking me through everything eBay shop. I can ask her any questions. I asked about, does this affect the algorithm? What about if I do this? What about if I do that? And it's very interesting indeed. And yeah, mind blown on some of the stuff. Some of the stuff is the basics, some of the stuff I knew, some of the stuff I didn't. I didn't know how to properly dig down into stats. I want to know how many I'm selling a day, but like the nuts and bolts, when you dig down into stats, doesn't float my boat. So yesterday we were going through seller metrics, and we went into the report that you can download into Excel, which shows you recommendations on your listings, what you can do. And interestingly, the only recommendation so I've got about 200 listings up now. The only recommendation was to increase my promotion rate, which I'm promoting at the moment at 6%, and the only recommendation was to move that to 8%. That was the only recommendation, and I was like, sus. Feels a bit sus. And it's given also that I'd asked a question, I said, you might not be able to answer this, but she could. So what are other jewellery sellers promoting at? And she said, that's easy because they're promoting at when you go to promote, what eBay are recommending you promote at, so something's a bit awry here, because if I look at that, then it's, they're all promoting at 11% then, are they? Because that's what it's recommending. But when we go into the quality listings report, my only recommendation is to promote everything at 8%. So which is it? So I'm a skeptical person. I do look through and try and read between the lines. And clearly, obviously, eBay need to make money, and that's they're a business and they are going to encourage me to promote. So I didn't say much about that. The thing is, we've also discussed amongst all these promotions that you can do, I said, I can't. She said, eBay want you to make a profit, they need you to be viable. And I was like, yeah, clearly, because otherwise you can't sell on there. But, eBay is sometimes making more out of an item than I am, and that it grates. But, it's the rule, you have to play that game now if you want to sell stuff. So, I've said to her, I tried dropping my promotions to 4%, and that sent things spiralling even lower than they are. And I can't, I said my margins are, so on a silver ring, so you can just Google a UK free eBay calculator, and you can put in your cost of goods, what you're selling at, your postage, like including your packaging and everything, what you're promoting at, what you're charging for postage, because I was doing free postage for the first about 3 weeks, and then because I had a premium badge, so you can jump through a few hoops to get a premium badge. You get, I think, a 10% discount on the final value fee, so it's quite small if you have the premium badge. But as part of that, you have to do things like fast and free, and I had free postage on. And what was happening was, so I said to her, I'm getting late defects, but I post every single day. So Royal Mail aren't scanning it in time, and then I'm getting a defect, even though I contested it, and they said, oh no, just flat no. And I said, and if I get enough of these, then I'll be on the naughty list, where not only do you pay an extra 6% in final value fees, but your listings get pushed down. If your listings get pushed down on eBay, then there's game over. If people can't find you, we all know. People can't find you, they can't buy stuff. So some little, can't remember where I was going with that, but we'll plod on. I have got some detailed notes on the back of an envelope, which I just popped down. Just have a slurp of my tea. So, that's good. So I've been learning basics, things like, which I wasn't doing before, which is, so I photograph on like a piece of wood, which the photo looks nice, but for the Google search, for Google to pick you up in search, she said, make your first picture, only your first picture, a white background. So I literally have a piece of white paper, first pictures on that. That's all. And then I moved to the wood because it just makes the ring look nicer, or the jewelry look nicer. And one of the things on the detailed seller report thing showed, or where I don't know if it was on that or something, we dug down in, it showed that every single one of my listings was being picked up by Google. None had been rejected. So that was good. So that's something I wasn't doing before. Something else we found in the stats yesterday, which is quite shocking, really. I mean, obviously I've got a lot of experience, years of experience on eBay, so some stuff I was just implementing straight away. But it showed that I was, I'd looked today, 46th out of 6,000 plus. I'm ranking 46th out of 6,000 plus jewellery sellers on eBay after 4 weeks. I said, well, I feel sorry for those ones at the bottom then. Like, are they selling anything? Because I'm not selling much. So that was interesting. But then obviously I'm trying to implement everything that she's telling me. And yeah, so let me have a look. So I'm listing about 50 items a week. Yeah, I'm about 200, but on 4 weeks. Yeah, I'm listing 50 items a week, which is small numbers really. I know some of you might go, oh, that's a lot, but it's not when ideally I need to be selling about 50 a week. So, but what I didn't want to do was I didn't want to start listing stuff in the wrong way. And already I've got listings which after each meeting, after each Zoom call, I've got changes to make. And so I get homework every week and changes to make. And already, like the first week's listings, I wouldn't do it that way. So I didn't want to bang everything up and then have to revise everything afterwards. So I need to increase my listings, really. So, and at the moment, with listing 50 a week, I am selling averagely one item a day. And if it's of interest to anybody, my profit on one item a day is about £5-6. So I need about 10 times that. So which is why I can't rely on eBay yet, obviously, for an income. So today I need to go out and source for another platform that keeps, paying the bills. But I want to increase that, and I've got 6 months to give this a really, really good trial again. And there's some things that, I remember now. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I left eBay. And things are, it's that the hoops you have to jump through, hoop after hoop. And in a way, I'm like, you have to now be an expert. You have to be an expert on eBay if you want it as an income. You can sell the odd thing, like just because it's your own like personal account and it's going to be a really good price because it was just something of yours and you just want a bit of money back. It's a good item and it's going to sell. But if you want to do it as a business, I feel like you have to be an expert at eBay, how to play eBay. Which I think we all know, like we're always looking for tips, aren't we? And like how to keep the algorithm sweet and how should we list and what background, and we know that. And this is what I remember. I'm like, the hoops, yeah. So I don't like rules. I don't know if anybody knew that, but if somebody says, oh, you can't do that, I'm like, oh no, I have to do it, even though I didn't want to do it, because I don't like rules. Unfortunately, I've produced a child who's exactly like me for that as well. So, yeah. So I don't really like the hoops. But on the other hand, I do recognise that if you jump through all the hoops and you become an expert, and there's a lot to it, then you've got an advantage on your competition and you might get a bigger slice of the pie and you might get more sales. So I've got to give it a go. So, right, this is just a quick video, but here's the knowledge bomb or the controversial piece of information that, don't go mental in the comments, but this blew my mind. So I kept saying in my Zooms, right, I'm listing 10 a day. And this was, but only it's worked out. It's only been 10 a day. It's only been 50 a week. So it's not 10 every single day. And she kept saying, you don't need to do 10 a day. And I was like, yeah, okay, I know I don't need to do 10 a day, but I'm just saying, like, that's how much I'm managing. And she kept saying, yeah, but don't get hung up on 10 a day. You don't have to do 10 a day. There's nowhere that says you have to do 10 a day. And then I ended up, I don't know how it came about, but I asked her, I said, would the algorithm, does it make a difference if I were to say, chuck, let's say 50 items on Monday? Would that be worse than splitting that up over the 7 days, scheduling and splitting them up over 7 days so that some are going live every single day? And she said, makes no difference. And I said, what? Like, yeah, but consistent listing. She said, no, that's not what the algorithm's looking for. They are not looking. This blew my mind. And I was like, but this goes against everything. But obviously it's guesswork. This goes against, and we do also know that you can ask one eBay rep something and another one and you can get a different answer. I said, this goes against everything that I'm being told and groups I'm in that I've always been told, consistent listing. And she said, no, when the algorithm is looking, it's not looking to see, oh, was she good every day? Did she put something every day? She didn't phrase it like that, but she said what it will be, obviously it's going to be looking at things like when eBay's trying to decide who to show above somebody else, obviously they're taking into account tons of things like, oh, they're top rated, they're not. Okay, that's a tick for them. That's points to them. They have 100% feedback, points to them, they don't. Okay. But they have, trying to think now, they've promoted higher, points to them. So it's, when they're looking, she said it is literally a comparison of lots of different things at that point. So it will be, at that point, will be the comparison, and that's how it's decided what goes where, And I thought, well, that makes total sense, actually. Like, why would it be going, I can see over the last 7 days, that one actually, it's just a comparison at a point in time. So I was like, oh my God. I mean, I'm still not doing like 50 and 1 knot just because it's mind-numbingly boring most of the time when you're in a rhythm. I was like, I had to double check with her, and I ended up sending like 3 emails. I said, sorry if I'm not getting this straight away, but she said, it's fine. I said, are you saying? I had to really nail it down, so I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, well, it does make sense. The other thing I'd like to say is that from the first week of listing, after a week, I think, I was averaging 1 sale a day, and I'm still averaging 1 sale a day, even though I'm putting all these things into practice. But then something I have done is stopped the free postage and lost my premium badge. So that might be a bit of so bear that in mind as well. But that's what I've been told. And I was like, if I could, well, when I'm not moving house twice in a week, and waiting for plumbers and fucking all the rest of it, and doing a lot of stuff still. Maybe I could throw up 50 listings in a day and then keep some going in the week if I've got the stock as well, because I do really want to. And so we've been looking at Terapeak and stuff, and she keeps saying, look at what the top sellers on Terapeak are doing, I was like, yeah, I'm all for just seeing what's successful and copying it. And it's interesting. I mean, sometimes you can see a pattern, sometimes you can't, but we'll look through and just go, look at that, look at the background, or look at that. And you're like, oh yeah, interesting. So I'm trying to implement this stuff, and I will keep you updated, and hopefully, I'm hoping my sales are going to get, take off. But I am only on 200 listings right now, but this is just a little quick one, but I wanted, that blew my mind, and I'm sure a lot of people are going, no, consistent listing. But the other thing, because no one's got proof of that, but the other thing is, it could be when you're consistent listing that actually, because I've listed a load of Thomas L. Mott butterfly wing, like silver brooches. I don't know about wings, but anyway, a couple went to Australia yesterday and another one's gone somewhere else. And so basically they were all listed, and I think 3 of them were sold, 3 or 4 sold in 24 hours. So that's just because that's in demand. It could be like you get all consistent listing because you list another 10 tomorrow, and it happens to be that, so this in demand stuff, your best stuff gets taken straight away, and you go, oh yeah, it's consistent listing. And I know sometimes people say, oh, but some of my old stuff sold as well, but I'm just repeating what I've been told that I was a bit shocked by. And it may or may not be of use. I mean, you've got to that's the information I've been told. I'm not saying do anything, I'm not advising you, but something interesting to think about anyway. So I'm just going to leave it there for now. I'll give you another eBay update when I can, and I will try and do a flat tour next week as well. Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye, don't die.